Woohoo! 105 presents The Rock Doctor. You've got questions, she's got answers. Call 970-385-1053 to talk to The Rock Doctor. You click on the call, text your question to 970-553-9001. Or hit us up on the expert Facebook page.
No, I mean,
The information on this program is not to be used as a substitute for medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment of any health condition or problem. Listeners should not rely on information provided for their own health problems. Any questions regarding your own health should be addressed to your own primary care physician or other professional healthcare provider. Now, Dr. Nicola of Purevita Healthcare, your Rock Doctor.
Hell yeah! It's Saturday morning, so that means, the Rock Doctor's on the radio.
hello.
Dr. Nicola Purevita, how you doing? I missed you last week.
I know. I was thinking about you when we were driving down to Phoenix. Because you went down to Winslow, right?
Yeah, I had some stuff. We were both in Arizona, different parts of the state.
I know it.
And, we didn't hang out or anything.
Well, no, I didn't even see you.
Right?
I looked for you on the road, on the 17, at 90 miles an hour.
See, I was not even on the 17.
Oh, at all?
No.
Oh.
Winslow's off 40.
Oh, right. Okay. that makes more sense.
So that would explain why we didn't see each other.
Well,
So you were going to a big doctor conference.
Yes, I went to a botanical medicine conference, which is a fancy word to say herb conference.
Botanical medicine.
Botanical medicine conference.
Hello,
It was
Dr.
great.
Nicola. I'm the botanical medicine doctor. Wow.
Yeah, it was great.
So, I mean, I know how conferences are because when I go to radio conferences, we drink, we party, woo, yeah. So you're probably all...
Yeah, it's not totally the same. I know. Well,
right.
I know. Well, it was funny. My friend yesterday had some... so the conference was at my old school. So it's where I spent... 40, 50 hours a week for 4 years. It's unbelievable. But they've got these beautiful new buildings now. And then we're in the dinky little old building where we spent so much of our time.
Yeah, they have all these nice new buildings because that 40, 50 hours a week, what did it cost you?
Oh, yeah. 6 figures.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
So-
I'll be paying that for the rest of my life.
Yeah, so, that's how they build those new buildings.
Oh, believe you me, it occurred to me while I was like, wow.
Yeah, I lived in Vegas for years, and it's so beautiful here. Where do you gamble to win? It's like, see those nice, beautiful, tall buildings? They didn't build those based on winners. Those are built on losers.
Right. Yes, exactly.
And then it hits you. Oh my God, you're right. Yeah. So 30 million people a year driving in, coming in to visit Vegas, each one dropping $200 to $300. Run the math.
Absolutely, a minimum $200 to $300. You're lucky to get out.
Right, but I'm this was back in the day.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Yeah, it's probably $1,000 now.
Yeah. Totally. I know. I don't even love gambling, and you got to set a little money aside to do it. To lose. I mean, but you got to assume you're going to lose it.
Yeah.
It's like I'm going to basically put this money in the trash.
Yeah, you might have more fun standing on a street corner just throwing a wad of hundreds up in the air.
That would be fun. Wouldn't that be fun?
That actually would be. Just stand on the
Right?
street corner and take $1,000 in 20s.
I think I would get more pleasure from that than being in like the smoke-addled casino, like looking,
Yeah, until somebody mugs you and wants more of your money.
Well, I'm like, but then it's all gone. Like, what are you mugging? But we were reminiscing about being in school together and like the crazy naturopathic parties, and then Ricky at our office, who's our acupuncturist, had some peppermint spirits yesterday, and we were remembering, if you put peppermint spirits on your nipples, it's like very like cooling and arousing. Anyway, that was like the kind of stupid stuff we did.
Rock Doctor tip of the morning: peppermint on your nipples is arousing.
Just saying, it's like a cool breeze. Wow, you're speechless.
I know. I'm at my age, you got to pause for a minute to process this, so it doesn't go out of your short-term memory.
You got to like hold it in. You can watch the video after.
Yeah, I think I will. What? Not really? Okay. So what else could you do with peppermint?
Yeah, I mean, like all sorts of stupid stuff that you're like, oh, you learn about something in school. Oh, that was one. My roommate, we were learning about ginger. And in a different class, she was learning about enemas. So, because enemas and colonics are part of...
Now, you're talking Ginger the spice, not Ginger the person.
Yes, Ginger the spice.
Okay.
Yes. But like ginger it's very anti-inflammatory, and it's got all these cleansing properties. It's just a great all-around herb. And so she was like, well, I wonder what would happen if I gave myself a ginger enema. Because sometimes you do a catnip tea enema for soothing and calming. Mm-hmm. And so...
Maybe you do. I don't.
Well, the indications of said enema...
Yeah, I think I'm going to go home tonight and stick a tube up the backside. Yeah.
Well, you know, I mean, a lot of people swear by it, honestly. So
I can't think of any reason ever on the face of God's green earth. Well, I mean, sort of a medical blockage.
Well, sure, medical blockage, but I mean, also if your digestion isn't very good and you want to...
Hence the medical blockage.
Right, exactly. But it's a good way to get probiotics up there. You know, there's a lot of good... Because it's hard to...
I'll just eat kale.
Right, well, kale's not going to put probiotics in your colon. Anyway,
wow.
I know, we're going there right off the bat. I love that about
Didn't
us.
take long. 10 minutes into the show and we're already...
Well, if anybody's ever made strong ginger tea, you know that it kind of it burns a little bit, and so after she did
upstairs or down.
Well, when you do an enema, because the colon's really absorbent, it like absorbs whatever you put in there really, really well, and so it absorbs.
Well, it's part of your digestive system. That's where all where the action takes place.
Right, and that's part of the reason why colonic can be very, really hydrating. Right, is because the colon really likes to absorb water. So it absorbed all this ginger tea, and then the bladder had to process it. So when she was peeing, it burned for like 4 days. She was like, note to self, nothing non-soothing up the bum. So. I've got all sorts of naturopathic medical school stories because you're like learning all this stuff, but you don't actually know what you're doing. So we would experiment on ourselves, which is a good thing that we were there for 4 years, getting that out of our system before they let us into our practices.
But then that opens it up to pranks for the freshmen coming in.
There's a lot of, Yeah. April Fool's is a strange place at a naturopathic medical school.
So what do you get when you cross peppermint on your nipples with ginger in your colon?
Yeah, or like somebody gets into the gross anatomy lab and, you know. I mean,
I've still got the nasal drain going here,
no.
So you have to cover while I do this.
Oh, okay, great. Now I feel on the spot. But yeah, naturopathic medical school is fun, you know.
I wish this would go away.
The gunk. Well, so here's the deal. Starting April 25th, we're going to do a detox at Pure.
Will I get rid of my...
Yes. So here's the deal: is like allergies and pollens. Allergies generally are caused from pollens and dust and that sort of stuff. But what we don't realize is that most of that is just extra protein that the body has to deal with. And when we get an onslaught of protein, like when everything starts going into bloom, and we get pollen and that sort of stuff, then it's almost too much proteins for some of our bodies to handle, and that's what causes allergies. It's just kind of the recirculating of proteins into the wrong places.
That's weird. I don't traditionally remember suffering from allergies. This
has been a dry year, and so
I grew up in the dry. I grew up in Wyoming. I mean, I've lived in the Southwest most of my life. It's just weird. I mean, maybe because I'm getting older.
Wyoming usually gets moisture in the winter. I mean, it gets snow.
Yeah, with 80-mile-an-hour winds, and it's brown snow. It's.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, it snows, but not. You know, it gets blown away. It's very dry in Wyoming.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. This is like the cold that just won't go away.
Yeah, I think I honestly think especially this week with the winds kicking up the dust.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I had so many. I mean, even people that don't have allergies are feeling allergic symptoms, and that's because our mucous membranes are supposed to be warm and moist, are cold and dry. So it's really. It's really, really hard. And if you do tend to have allergies, I've already, for the past month, honestly, I've already seen people in my office complaining that their allergy symptoms are kicking in way earlier than usual.
Well, yeah, I mean, I get that. We didn't have a winter, basically, this year.
Right.
And, it's been dry. Maybe I'm just, maybe I haven't noticed it before. I don't know.
Are you doing anything to help?
Yeah, just the stuff you've told me. I mean, I've got, like, the...
humidifier.
I got a humidifier. I've got in fact, at night when it gets particularly bad, and it has this year, which is really weird.
Really bad.
I'll do the towel over the vaporizer.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
Just, and that helps, but, I mean, in all honesty, the best part is when I wake up in the morning in that first couple of hours, just getting all that stuff out. It just, it's flowing. By the end of the day, it's kind of...
Stopped up.
No, it's dry. It's
Oh.
like it's gone away.
Oh, okay.
And then you go to bed at night and you wake up the next morning and...
Well, you're laying down, right? So your sinuses,
are filling up.
They're draining, essentially. And so then it all kind of comes out, and then you stand up.
I hate it.
Do you put anything in the steam that you're doing?
The
thyme?
The Vicks stuff.
Next time I'll bring you some thyme essential oil.
Okay.
Just a couple of drops. When you're inhaling essential oils, more is not better.
Okay.
So learn from us naturopathic students. If a little bit of
sounds like I'm going down to the store after the show today. I'm going to pick up some peppermint and some thyme.
Yeah, exactly.
Peppermint for my nipples and
thyme for your sinuses.
For my wow.
Yeah, but no, really, a lot of people have been saying of all the things that I've recommended, the thyme steam is the thing that's been able to get that crud going.
It's not really having a problem going. Like, I got to blow my nose again.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So it's not. I mean, it
needs to go away, is what.
That's what I'm saying.
So what this detox you're talking about?
Yeah.
Is that going to help this?
Yes, exactly. So basically, when your body has to process less gunk, and we reduce the amount of proteins that your body has to process, then we're going to clear out the liver so that the liver can clear those proteins, the allergens, with more ease. And so when we do a liver detox, it actually reduces the overall burden on the body so that the organs can function better.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back from the break, I want to hear what's all involved in this detox.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not getting an enema on the show today, am
I? No.
Okay, good. 970-385-1053 is the number. I can breathe a sigh of relief, no pun intended.
Through your mouth.
Yeah, I am mouth breathing today. 385-1053 if you've got a question for Dr. Nicola, or you can text us at 970-553-9001. It is The Rock Doctor on X-Rock 105.
Are you all about coffee?
I hate this.
I know, it's gunky, huh?
Coffee is located inside the 11th Street 1101 Main Avenue in downtown Orlando. We proudly serve Desert Sun coffee.
Because it drains down the back of your throat and you start gagging.
Yeah, have you cut out dairy?
Huh?
You do eat dairy?
Not very much.
Yeah, I would get rid of it altogether just until this passes. You can add it back in.
No need to hide the flavor with anything. Taste coffee. Coffee without training wheels.
I'm gonna have to mix it. It does separate. I don't know why. I don't know how to get it to stay shaken.
You have to have a binding agent.
Bye.
Oh no, you're drinking this with me. Do I have to drink this whole thing?
You don't have to.
Oh, but I mean, is that...
That's for you. He's got his own.
Okay. I mean,
and I've got my own.
How does that work?
Okay. So everybody's doing something cool.
Just like all of that in an hour or throughout the day?
Yeah, I mean, I would, yeah. It's good, huh?
The best specials on 420. So come on down for a crazy deal on sour candy. We've also got
That kid's
$10
awesome.
grams of keef, $35 quarter-ounce joints,
random.
and
Huh?
$20
So
grams
random.
of concentrates. We're also doing huge giveaways. We're doing
Oh, you're not going to be here next week?
I'm not. I'll be in Louisiana.
We're giving away $50 gift certificates.
You going gator fishing?
And a 2-night stay at Telluride.
I've never been to Baton
So
Rouge.
on 420, come on down to the rec room.
I should ask for recommendations. Do you want me to try to find somebody to cover?
I would love to have those people with the managed health care.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that we
Right.
talked about this. X-Rock 105 and The Rock Doctor on your radio. 385-1053 is our number if you've got a question, or you can text us at 553-9001, both of those in the 970 area code. Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, Dr. Love, let's talk about
Loving your liver.
loving your liver and talking about detox, right?
Yep.
Is that what we're talking? Is that what I said we were going to talk about after the break?
That's what I remember.
Okay, cool. Short-term memory, it's starting to go.
That it'll help this too. Seriously, like mental fog and stuff like that can partially be because we're just having to process too much stuff.
All right, well, during the break, you broke out the green stuff.
I did. So I only had a minute or two before I left the house, and so this is really, really, really simple. It's like the boxed greens, the power greens that you can buy.
Uh-huh.
Like they're pre-washed. You don't have to de-stem them or anything. So it was like 2 big handfuls of that. 2 whole apples cut up, so I didn't bother coring them or anything. I just threw the whole apple in there. A couple of handfuls of red frozen.
Isn't there poison in those seeds? I thought you weren't supposed to eat apple cores.
Yeah, well, no, there is a little bit of cyanide in seeds. Yeah.
She's trying to kill me! Not that I can blame you.
My jar of this is bigger than yours, so.
Twice?
Wait, okay. Jackson, if you're going to talk, come over here and talk to the microphone.
And I thought we would bring this because even my 8-year-old is drinking this.
Okay, so now tell me about it.
I drank it last night twice and once today.
And look at you. You're all green now. You got green on your head. You got green on your shirt.
Damn already!
But it's green.
Yeah, really. I know. But do you like it? Do you like the way they taste?
Yes.
Does it taste yucky?
No.
No.
All right, I'm gonna here. Let go of the microphone so you don't pull it up. No, you can leave it down in front of you.
Just let go of it. Yeah, there
Just
you
let go. Yeah, there you go. All right, I'm gonna try this.
All right. Yeah, but it's simple, really, really simple. And then a bunch of water. You can make it more fancy. You can add in seeds. You can add in like MCT oil or flaxseed oil.
No, this isn't horrible at all. There is no kale in here.
There's baby kale.
Yeah, but there's not kale.
There's not baby kale. I mean, there is baby kale.
Yeah, but that's not the real kale.
Well, it is.
It hasn't grown up. It hasn't grown.
It's just younger kale.
Okay, well.
Yes. So there's kale and chard and mitsuna and spinach.
Chard.
Yes.
Isn't that when you like?
That's chart.
When you have an accident in your pants? Isn't that a shard?
No, that's a chart.
Oh, okay.
With a T. This is chard with a D.
Oh, all right. This isn't bad at all. I could taste the apple. And what else is in here?
Grapes, greens, and water. It's really easy. It's like literally 2 minutes or less. So I was running out the door. I was a little hungry. I didn't want to just eat. I didn't have actually even time to wait for toast.
So what is this particular blend going to do now?
So basically first of all, it's liquid food, so it just is less processing that our digestion has to do.
Okay.
And then the other thing is, and usually I add in cilantro or parsley or something like that. Those are really good detoxifiers, so they do what they would call what's called chelating, which means they attach to heavy metals. And so they
like heavy metal.
Yeah, except when it's in your body causing neurological issues.
Oh, not that kind of.
Right. Right. I know.
My
bad. We do have to reference the show that we're on, which is
well, yeah. I mean, you are the rock doctor. So,
right.
Played Dio a little earlier. So. Okay, so it's not going to take that metal out of me.
No, it'll leave that metal even rocking even harder.
Perfect. Okay, so it attaches to the heavy metals in your body.
Yep. And then it also.
How does it do that? I mean, that just seems weird that you throw a bunch of stuff into a blender, add a little water, and suddenly it seems too simple, too good to be true.
Well, and that's part of the reason why I brought this in, is because I feel like people feel like this has to be really complicated or really challenging, or just like not.
And it's not.
It's not. Yeah, like not accessible. Like, oh, that's too difficult. I can't do it. I don't have a juicer, and I don't actually love making fresh pressed juices, because then you're pulling out all the fiber and a lot of the nutrition, or some of the nutrition, out of it. And so what you're getting is.
I'm going to come flying across this table. I'm going to put that watch in a place where the sun don't shine, so you can never shine that light in my eyes again, little man.
Yeah, but I like doing whole foods in a blender, because then you're getting all of the fiber. You're not losing any of the nutrition. You're not wasting any of the plant. You're getting everything, and having the fiber in there will help slow down the blood sugar, because when we do fresh pressed juices, even veggie juices like carrot and beet juice, it's a lot of sugar without any fiber or fat. So at least in here you're getting.
I wonder how much of in our day-to-day world, living, how much of the nutritional value of our food is not even there anymore.
For the standard American diet,
yeah.
I would say 80% of the nutrition is gone.
So we go to the store, and in the name of convenience, we buy this. All this food, and it's just nothing.
Yes. So, and for a few reasons, right? One of them is because
we process the living crap out of our food.
It's processed, but even like when because people will give me a hard time about spending an extra 20 cents per pound on an organic lettuce versus non-organic lettuce. But the problem there is there's a bunch of different levels of issues with non-organically grown produce. And first and foremost, and the thing that most people don't realize, is that when you're not growing in an organic fashion, it's not just about being free from pesticides and herbicides, which is important, and we'll talk about why that can change the nutritional value, because I'm not just talking about people believing that pesticides are good for you or bad for you or harmful for you or not. That's a separate issue. But there's a lot more to organic farming practices, and part of that is crop rotation, so not growing potatoes in the same soil for 30 years. And when you compost and use organic materials, like whole organic materials as fertilizer, rather than just stuff that's got carbon, potassium, and carbon, phosphorus, and oh my gosh, there's only 3 nutrients that need to be in the soil for plants to grow, and I just forgot the third. Nitrates, yeah, exactly. Look at you.
Look
Thank
at me.
you.
Hey! Wow.
Nitrogen, carbon, and and phosphorus, I think. Are the only 3 things.
I'm not a farmer.
I'm not either, and I don't farm with these methods, so I'm not sure. But there's only really 3 nutrients that you need to put back into the soil. And so when you're only putting those 3 nutrients back into the soil, the other nutrients that the plant needs to grow and has used over the years gets depleted.
Well, look, certain vegetables have certain
affinities. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And where do you think those they don't just magically appear, they have to be absorbed
from the soil,
or the process or whatever. And if the building blocks aren't there because they're depleted, then how can the plant produce it?
Exactly.
I mean, I'm not a farmer, but I understand that one.
Yeah.
I mean, that does make sense.
Exactly. So if your soil to begin with is depleted because you haven't been nourishing it, you haven't been putting full compost back into the soil, and you've been growing the same crop on that soil for 20, 30, 40 years, then you're going to have a less nutritious product because there's less nutrition. What about fruit trees?
Apples,
So that's a little bit different, but they still do need to be, they're going to do better with a whole foods based fertilizer, right? It makes sense, right? That our bodies really, we only need 40 milligrams of vitamin C a day to not have scurvy, but vitamin C is involved in so many different processes in the body that we really need to be optimally healthy. We need more like 2,000 to 3,000 milligrams of vitamin C, right? But the RDA, or the recommended daily allowance of nutrients, is based on the minimum amount that you need to avoid getting the disease. So when they say that the RDA for vitamin C is 40 milligrams, that's so that you don't get scurvy.
Right.
It's not so that your cells are optimally functioning. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I'm drinking this green stuff with baby kale in it.
I know, this is like number 3 or 4 times this year that you've had kale, and it's only April. I'm so impressed.
I had kale chips. Your associate brought in those chips.
That's what I'm saying. So this is like the 3rd or 4th time.
Those didn't even last the rest of the day at home.
They're good, huh?
Oh, and the kids, I got home and they were like, what are the, first reaction was, ew, what is that? And I go, try one. And I ate one and, wow, these are good. What are they?
And what's wild is you can get a big old head of organic kale for 99 cents at the grocery store.
Well, yeah, because nobody wants it.
Well, but the plant itself is really proliferative. And so you can actually make yourself a huge bag of kale chips for cheaper than you could buy a bag of like Lay's potato chips.
Right.
So when we talk about health food being more expensive, it's not always the case.
Maybe initially, but
well, if you buy, if you go to the store and you buy kale chips, they're like $4 and $5 a bag. They're
make
not.
Your own.
Yeah. So, but you put them. All you need to do is, I put mine in a Ziploc with olive oil and sea salt, and I'll shake it around like a shake and bake.
Yeah.
And that way the oil kind of spreads evenly on the kale, and then you put them on a baking sheet and bake them on low, like 180. Like really, really low.
Yeah.
And then you're done.
All right, got a text here on our text line at 970-553-9001 from Devin. It says, my doctor recently performed what I would call a miracle. Oh, good. All right. Is it okay or appropriate to send him a gift to show my appreciation?
Well, that's a nice question.
That is. Because we never think about that.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I think it's wonderful when you let your provider know when they've done a good job. And so if you feel like you want to offer them a gift or a card or flowers or a gift certificate, I think it's a nice gesture. Traditionally,
traditionally we don't do that.
Well, and traditionally we've been, as providers, we've been trained to not accept gifts from patients because there's a conflict there.
Really?
Well, you don't want to do better by somebody hoping that you're going to get a gift. You know what I mean?
Sure. No, I get that.
And you don't want to treat somebody who's got more money better than you would somebody who has less money.
Now, when my doctor saved my life when I had that strep infection years ago.
Yeah.
After it was all said and done, I took him out to dinner.
Yeah.
But we were friends before that anyway.
Right. So,
yeah. But still.
No, Devin, I think that's a great idea to get a gift if that's what's coming from your heart, but I think more than anything, writing a letter or a card or a note to explain the impact that person has, because at the end of the day, your doctor is a human, and we all like to know that we've made a difference in our job and that we've touched another human in a positive way. So, I think more important than the gift would be a note that describes your sentiments. But if you feel like you want to get him or her a gift too, awesome.
Well, and I think a lot of times we don't know how to. I mean, do we know how to say thank you? Is it appropriate to say thank you?
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
It is. Do we? Well, I mean, yeah, you thank the plumber that comes out and unstops your pipes. So if your personal pipes are stopped up and they. Right. Why wouldn't you?
Well, and I think something that's become really valuable too is actually writing a review. So like if this doc has a health grades is a place where we go to review doctors, or review the practice and talk about the care that you got. Because a lot of people are disenchanted with their medical providers these days, and so if somebody and most people who write reviews are people who are upset because they're angry about something or disappointed or
have unrealistic expectations.
Sure, maybe. But to do that in a public way, if you're willing, and you don't have to put your name, it can be anonymous, but that can be another way to show your appreciation as well, so that more people know, hey, this is a good doc who's going to take good care of you.
Yeah, as a rule, we tend to not write positive reviews. We tend to write those reviews when we're angry.
When we're hot.
Yeah.
And another thing.
And I didn't get this, and son of a bitch, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. But so if your doctor did do a good job, hey, let them know.
Yeah, absolutely. That's, I think, the most important thing, and I think it's really nice that you are thinking about getting a gift, but honestly, that's a lot less important and really not necessary at all, because he or she is doing her job. But really taking a moment to write a note and say how that's impacted you makes a big deal. My neighbor is a retired cardiologist, and we were walking down to the mailboxes together, and he got this letter from a patient of his, and he said maybe 20 years ago, maybe 30 years ago.
Oh, wow.
He saved this guy's life. He's a cardiologist, and something happened, and he made the right call and changed his whole world. And he said every year on the anniversary of that event, he's gotten a letter from this guy since.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so they keep in touch. Like once a year, he gets a letter from this guy, quick update, this is what's going on. And I guess the cardiologist was joking with this patient about, well, now that we've saved your life from this, you probably just end up with cancer. And sure enough, he got cancer.
Oh my God!
Like 10 years later or 15 years later. But this doc gets a little snippet of this guy's life because every year on the anniversary of that event, he remembers Dr. Demos.
That's awesome.
It's really cool, right?
Me and my doctor, we're like Facebook buds, and and for the first couple of years, I would post pictures of my leg with the skin falling off it, and you're like, okay, I remember. You just
right, because we're all humans, right? And I think that we're getting, especially with social media, we're all getting a little bit looser. Like when Kevin and I eloped last summer. I actually sent that out in an email with a little picture of us and the dogs up in the mountains, and and everybody was really excited to know that about us. We form connections.
Okay, well, hold on. I'm going to stop you there because you're not like hardly any doctor I've ever known.
Oh.
You're very approachable. So I could see why people who interact with you at your practice, I could see why they would feel that connection. I've had doctors where I felt like I was just a name and number. You don't strike me as that type of person.
No, I don't have. No, my charts don't even have numbers. You see your charts and you're like, OS 14 or whatever.
Oh, right, because of Osborne.
Yeah, yeah. But that's all in the name of HIPAA and confidentiality and that sort of stuff. But no, there's no numbers involved in my practice.
But you know what I mean?
We get to know people really, really, really well. And what's cool about our office is that because we have a variety of practitioners, I have patients that maybe I've seen through to a certain place, and now they're seeing somebody else in the practice, but I still get to catch up with them.
Are you?
Yeah, absolutely. And we've gone to funerals and weddings and all sorts of stuff.
Oh, funerals when you've blown a call?
Yeah, when I've totally screwed it up.
Yeah. No, oops, my bad.
Yeah, exactly. No.
That was inappropriate, and I apologize.
No, but I think it's important that we see the humanity in each other, and not just between doctors and patients, but between the guy on the road that you're about to flick off because they made a bad call. I think in general, our country right now...
Let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
You said, let's see the humanity in each other. So why is it inhumane for me to flip the guy off, but it's okay for him to be driving 15 miles an hour under the speed limit?
Well...
So in the name of humanity, shouldn't you be more conscious and drive the speed limit?
Yes, but is there anything that you can do to make that guy a more conscious driver other than...
No, but I can make myself feel better. I can let my blood pressure return to normal as I'm
But does that actually make you feel better?
Yes,
Because...
I do. I really do.
Like you've had some sort of vengeance for your wrongs?
It's not a vengeance. It's just an outlet. It's like, okay, idiot, number one.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I get it because I mean,
you told me I had to do things to keep my blood pressure down, so it makes me relax knowing that when I get to that straightaway, I'm going to be able to go, number one!
I guess I would take that one step further, though, and back that up. And
then do both hands?
Yeah.
Take the top off the Jeep?
Now you're no longer safely driving either.
Oh, yeah, my leg's free.
Perfect. Fantastic. But I think this is the problem, right? Is that we're all like right on the edge of being pissed anyway. And so somebody cuts us off, and then all of a sudden it's this big personal affront. And I mean,
it's because they're an idiot.
Well, sure.
No.
I mean, but I've been in situations, right, where I've been passing somebody and somebody didn't like that they were being passed. So then they come up all behind me and they're like riding right on my tail, and it creates a really unsafe situation. It's not
2 words when that happens. Brake check.
Oh, I know. You know, I mean, I get it. And then they're like zooming off and da-da-da, and then I'm getting all upset. And I mean, it's miserable.
No, let me impart some wisdom on you. You do these things so that you don't get upset.
Well, but that's what I'm saying is that you don't know what's going on for the person in the car, and
I don't care what's going on in the person in the car.
But that's the problem is that we don't.
You're on the road. Do what you're supposed to do. That is
the
drive.
Problem.
No, it's not.
Yes,
it's not my
is.
problem. I don't care.
It absolutely is the problem because nobody cares what's going on for that person. You know, like,
why should you?
Because maybe, well, first of all, it has nothing to do with you, and second of all, we're all doing our lives the best that we can. And if we make a bad move on the road, maybe the kid is screaming in the back and they're like half paying attention, which is not ideal. I'm not saying that we should all be driving around half paying attention, but the reality of it is we do, because stuff is happening. Maybe they're angry because they got in a fight with their partner. Maybe they're...
Ain't my problem.
You know, maybe they just lost somebody that they love. Well, but that ain't my problem attitude that most Americans are adopting right now is the problem. That's what's getting
I
us
disagree.
into so much
I think
trouble.
when you're out on the road, you have one job to do. I don't care what's up your butt. I don't care what's happened. If you and granted, every single one of us is going to go through something in life that is devastating.
Sure.
I mean, my parents are both dead. I mean, talk about devastating.
Sure.
But I'm not going to take it out on every driver around me because, you know, something bad's happened in my life. Yeah, screw you. I'm going to drive 20 miles below the speed limit.
My point is, let's say that there's no good reason. It's just an aggressive driver, and this person always drives aggressively. Meeting that with more aggression is not going to solve the problem.
No, I'm not saying meet it with aggression. Just let them know they're number one.
Flipping them off is meeting them with aggression.
No, that's
yes,
salute.
It is. No, it is not a salute.
Number one.
It is not something you do to someone that you feel kindly about.
Well, I don't feel kindly because the speed limit's 60 and you're
it's
driving
more
40.
aggression. Oh my God! Right now.
No, see, I'm getting hurt.
I'm all riled up.
I'm detoxing. I'm perfectly relaxed. I got the.
Well, and we should talk after the break about detox,
Oh,
but
yeah,
no,
look at the time.
but for irritability and anger, because and we'll talk about how it's all related. Because really, that's true. Maybe we're getting our livers pumping and getting all fired up.
Fine, we'll take a break. Fine. Well, I could take a hint. You got a question for the Rock Doctor, Dr. Nicola of Pyramid Healthcare?
Help me out.
970-553-9001 is our text line, or 970-385-1053 is the phone number. Here in the studio, if you'd like to talk to her. Am I wrong?
Yes.
I don't think I'm wrong.
I think you're wrong. We should take a poll.
Yeah, well, we're going to do a reality check when we come back here on the Rock Doctor.
I'm so
on
ready.
X-Rock.
You're on my side. Yeah, babe.
So, what is all this?
That's good stuff. That's great radio.
Yeah, it's fun.
Because I know. I mean, I know you're right.
No, I know. So wait, put this on. Push this. It's light. Push it again. Right or light. Push it again. Right or light.
But why is it light? Why is it a light?
Because then I put it on my phone and it lights up my face when I'm doing my videos. And this is a tripod.
What's a tripod? Can I see it?
Yes.
Dense, vagaries, or even chemical imbalance. Southern Rockies Addiction Treatment Services offers hope with care.
That's a cool thing to
There is never judgment and your information
So try is 3, right?
If you or someone you care about is in trouble with opiate addiction,
Way
narcotics, or
Yeah,
prescription
and then you
opiates,
put the
call
one on there.
Southern Rockies Addiction Treatment Services. When you're ready to reach
Wow.
out, we will always
This is
reach
mine.
out. Call 970-828-3030.
I'm sure it is.
Hey everybody, join me.
And then this is just an extension for the mic. This is a little microphone that you can put on your shirt, and then an extender.
Rocky Mountain High Dispensary, otherwise known as the
Okay.
Castle Dispensary, located at 120 East 36th Street in beautiful Durango for their 420 celebration. They will have deals, free swag.
It's good though, huh? The green drink?
What are you doing Friday?
I already
I was
finished
worried
it.
about how long I had to take it. It'll be gone by the show.
That's what I'm saying, but like it doesn't have to be gross.
It's not.
Right. And then you
I
got
love the apple. You could taste a little bit of grape.
Yep, and the grapes are really good for you, the high in
I love
anthocyanidins.
grapes.
Yeah. And then the frozen grapes you don't need to put ice.
Forget to wear your red shirt every Friday to remember our
Because I don't know, I always buy a bag of grapes and we only eat half of them and then the other half are starting to go bad.
Oh, I buy a bag of grapes. They're gone that day.
Oh really? Oh,
All
that
the
makes me feel
kids
sick.
love it.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, yeah.
And I love it. You know, they'll come home after school. You know, Papa, can I have an orange? Papa, can I have an apple? Can I have an apple? I don't even. No. Yeah.
Yep.
Done.
Absolutely. Easy.
Can we have cookie? No.
Right. Yep, I know. Yeah, Jaxie had a breakfast with cereal, bacon, and fruit.
Here we go.
Hubbub.
And this.
X-Rock 105, the Rock Doctor is leaking out of your radio speakers.
Well, it makes me feel so uncomfortable when you say that.
Yeah, but it's true. That's what's going on. 970-385-1053
Pouring
is our
out
phone
of your
number.
radio speakers.
I like leaking out.
That's the difference between me and you.
970-553-9001 if you'd like to text us. All right. Now, for the record, let me just state,
Uh-oh.
I'm not a complete...
No, not
What's the word I'm looking for? Dickhead when it comes to driving. If I see somebody having problems on the road, you know, a car breaks down or whatever, I'm the first guy out of my car. I'll help you push it. I will run. You go in the wintertime, you go off the road. I got a Jeep. I'll pull you out. I mean, I have no problem with that. I'm talking about the day-to-day average idiot that is so selfish, and I don't care. When you're on the road, you don't get to play selfish. You got to remember there are thousands of other people out on the road with you. You're having a bad day, get off the road. Your kid's acting up, pull over.
I mean, I agree with you. My point is, though, is that you cannot...
You're right, Jamie, but you're wrong.
You're right about that piece, which is people should pay more attention on the road. I mean, I can't tell you, going down to Phoenix and back, how many people we saw texting on their... I mean, they were, like, on their phone, like, not looking at all. So I'm not saying so we should just ignore that there are bad drivers on the road. I mean... I lived in Boston, so, I mean, massholes are like the worst drivers ever.
I lived in
my God.
California for a while.
But it's like scary driver, but you know that they're good drivers, which makes me feel better. But anyway, in Massachusetts, that's not necessarily the case.
Right.
It's like 50.
Been there.
Well, in Phoenix, same thing. Like, you have a lot of elderly folks on the road. You have a lot of big highways with fast speed limits, and a lot of people who don't know where they're going.
Yeah. That's my point. I mean,
Right.
sure. I mean, just because you're driving 5 miles under the speed limit doesn't automatically mean I get all agitated.
Well, I'm just hoping that in general we can find more compassion.
All right, so you said
for
that
one another as
there's
people.
something about there's something I guess I need detoxing so my attitude's better. Is that what
Well,
you're saying?
so in Chinese medicine, the organ of the liver is associated with an emotion of anger or irritability.
What is the organ?
The liver?
The liver.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I used to have a T-shirt that said the liver is evil and must be punished.
Right. Yeah. So I think that's to condone heavy drinking. I'm pretty sure that's the that's the battle cry for that
Okay.
one.
All right.
But basically, so this time of year, the springtime, when there's a lot of upward energy and a lot of plants are coming up and bursting through the earth, and we have a lot of winds, and there's just a lot of upward energy in the springtime, and that can be really irritating to the liver, and the spring is the season of the liver. And this is all, ancient Chinese medicine.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, so in Chinese medicine, all of the organs are associated with a certain emotion.
So is that why I'm detoxing? So I'm going to have a nice, pleasant ride home this morning?
Honestly, I mean, a lot of us there's a happiness when spring comes, but there's also like this kind of restlessness that I see in myself, and in a lot of people.
There's a lot of things that need to get done. You've had the winter to to hibernate, if you will, where you maybe couldn't do a lot of things. And
Sure.
spring comes out and
spring cleaning and
Right.
kind of well, you want to get your house all tidy, you want to get your garage all set up, but you want to do the same thing for your body. Like that's kind of the energy of the season, right? Is kind of a renewed lease on life and kind of starting again and cleaning out.
Okay.
And that's why we want to clean out our body.
Kind of like what I'm doing with my sinuses
Yes,
this morning.
exactly. Yeah, although we need to probably do it a little bit more intentionally, so that you can
You
stop
want me to
having
blow it right into the nose?
No,
or in the
no, nothing like that.
microphone?
So when the liver gets congested and overwhelmed with these pollens, with alcohol, with environmental toxins, I mean, basically there's toxins everywhere in our environment, even in pristine Durango, because it's
Now,
not
let me
that
ask
pristine.
a question that I could... How does these toxins are airborne. How does that get into your liver?
Well, you're breathing them in, yeah?
Yeah, but your lungs aren't connected to your liver.
Well, of course. Well, so the lungs are the place where we do oxygen exchange for the blood, right? So we take deoxygenated blood and put oxygen on it and send it back out into the periphery. So all your blood circulates through your lungs, right? So if you breathe something in, that gets into your circulation through the lungs.
Oh, wow.
Right? And that's why it makes sense that there's so many people that have like kind of asthmatic responses with allergies, that can be kind of a tightening in the chest and that sort of stuff, and not just the sinuses.
Uh-huh. See, I learned something today.
And so then you breathe in these toxins, and then they're in the lungs, and then the blood circles through to get oxygen, and then picks up the toxins, and then takes it. I mean, it's part of the design of the body, right? Is because you don't want the toxins to stay in the lungs. You want the blood to pick up the toxins and then take them on down to the liver.
Well, I thought the mucus got rid of the toxins from your lungs.
Well, so the mucus is a good way of getting stuff out of the lungs as well,
Okay.
particulate matter especially, right?
Okay.
Yeah, but
Not so much the microbial small stuff.
it can get some of the small stuff out. You have the little hairs, the little cilia,
Yeah.
in the lungs to help push
I
stuff
shave
out of
my
the
lungs.
lungs. You shave your lungs.
Kidding.
That's why you can't clear this cough. But that's part of what the issue is with smoking. Is it's not just the the tobacco and then the how many chemicals are they saying are in commercial cigarettes these days? Like 86 or
Hundreds, who knows?
Yeah, hundreds. Yeah. So I mean, certainly those are problematic. But the smoke, because it's heated, so warm, that actually burns the cilia. And it can, so kind of like a hair, when it burns, it kind of goes, kind of shrivels up.
Yeah.
So the same thing is happening to our cilia. The good news is it can regrow, but that's part of the reason why so many people, when they quit smoking, get a bad cough. It's because their cilia are regrowing, and they're trying to get the gunk from all those years out of the system. And so people are like, well, I've got this horrible hacking cough that I never had when I was smoking, so they go back to smoking. But it's really the body's way of trying to expel all the gunk out of the lungs, because now there's an opportunity to get it out. It's not the inherent mechanism isn't being burnt off every day.
All right, so what do I take to calm down when I'm driving?
Well, I think part of it is just making sure your liver
Do
doesn't
I
have
go
too much
up
of a
and-
burden.
do
I
I
mean,
go
yeah,
to
there's
the-
a lot of irritability in the spring. We kind of get that restless, that irritability, like is almost too much energy circulating through. And part of that can be because the liver is just kind of needs a little bit of help. And so if we can like with the Durango detox that we're running, we're going to do it for 10 days.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, whoopsie.
Please don't hit me.
Yeah, I had hair in my face and I whacked myself. Yeah, so we're doing it for 10 days. It's really, really easy. But it's just 10 days of not putting the least amount of burden on your liver as possible. So really eating simply so that your liver, because your liver is really part of your digestive tract. And most people don't realize that.
Well, see, I did. That's why I was asking the questions about the lungs. I'm like, how is it your lungs? But now you explained all that.
It's everything to the blood, right? So,
Right.
So the liver is the filter, the primary filter of the blood. And so if your blood has a lot of toxins in it, then the liver is going to have a much, it's going to think about, like if you've ever been camping or whatever and you have to use a water filter. If the water's from like this beautiful pristine lake, that filter you can use a ton. But if it's from a kind of a muddy puddle that you're trying to filter out, that filter gets clogged because there's just more particulate matter. Just like any filter, right?
Yeah.
The more gunk there is, and the easier it is to get bunged up. And so what we're going to do when we detox, I know, look at you almost done with your drink.
Here, you can check out the video. This is almost gone. It is.
Because you like it. It's good. It doesn't...
It's gone.
Right, you don't have to eat and drink
This is
disgusting
like a
things.
5-gallon jar?
That's actually 16 ounces. Yeah. So you just had 16 ounces of a green drink. And look at you. It's not even 9. but it
What can I say? You've warped my mind.
Yes, that was exactly my plan. Warped it back, really.
Okay. Sure, you pounded the dents out.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we can.
So that's why it can actually, when we eat more regularly and we eat more cleanly, we can actually balance our mood. Partially because we're balancing our hormones, and partially because we're just not having to deal with, process so much stuff.
All right. Well, I'm the drive home today. I'm going to wait. I'm going to see if your green drink has fixed it.
Well, probably need more than one 16-ounce green drink to fix your sinus stuff. Right?
No, I'm talking about my mood.
Oh, the irritability. Well, yeah, kind of see how it goes. But not only is it taking in stuff that helps the liver, but it's making sure that your body is eliminating waste to the best of its ability. So there's, when we talk about eliminating, most of us talk about or think about poop, which is an important part of it. But there's 3 other ways that we get stuff out of the body, and that's through the bladder and the kidneys, through the lungs, because the lungs are actually an organ of detoxification, and through the skin, and our skin is our largest organ of detoxification. And so making sure that we're sweating and breathing and peeing and moving our bowels are all really important ways that are crucial to make sure that you don't feel like crap during a detox.
Got a text here.
Oh, God.
970-553-9001. You two sound like a married couple. Good stuff.
That's a good thing?
No, that's what the text says. Oh, okay.
I mean, sure.
You're happily married.
I am.
And I don't want any part of it. But that's okay. Wow, we got more texts.
Right.
We got to take a break. It always happens. At the end of the
know.
show, we get slammed here. All right, 970-553-9001 is our text line. Or you can call us at 970-385-1053. It is The Rock Doctor on X-Rock.
Having too much fun.
That was Steve.
The GM?
Huh?
The GM?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Open Monday through Friday, 7 to 3, and weekends 8 to 3. Come visit us today to experience the best cup of coffee ever.
I guess that's good. Means you have rapport, right?
Yes, exactly.
Our coffee is so good.
Did you get a new dog?
Mm-hmm.
No. I thought a couple months ago you posted it.
No, it's Cheyenne. Her dog. My son that's living with me down in New Mexico, he wants to get a pit bull. And that dog is a pity, and that dog is such a sweetheart. Yeah,
Pitties are so sweet. As long as they haven't been mistreated, they're the most lovey. Oh my God.
This dog is so chill. It's not even. He's amazing.
That's awesome.
But I have a Rottweiler Shepherd mix. I don't think she would appreciate another dog.
Oh.
Look it. I found this here.
What is that? Oh.
The little dog, he don't care. But whenever we bring other dogs down to the house, she gets really
Funky.
territorial. She's awesome.
Well, that's a loyal mix, though. I mean, that's meant to do that.
Yeah, you try to reassure it. That's okay.
Right. Can you read what those comments say? The green things on the.
Is watching. Couple
Okay.
folks watching.
Hi guys, we're watching. This is the last part, bud.
X-Rock 105, our final segment with the Rock Doctor, Dr. Nicola for Pura Vida Healthcare, is about to come on your radio speakers here. All right. 970-385-1053 is our phone number. Or you can text us at 553-9001. No particular order here. April, is it okay to ask my doctor how many times he's performed a surgical procedure?
No.
Yes. Jackson, that was Jackson that said no. Yes, absolutely. You want to know how experienced this person is. And, honestly, you want to know how many has he or she done in the past year. Because, they might have done 40 of them, but they haven't done any in the past 10 years. You want somebody who's doing whatever the procedure is relatively regularly. Yeah?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, that seems intuitive, but a good question.
Yeah.
And there are, we may poke some fun, but there are no wrong questions to ask us here.
Right. No, absolutely not.
Or more importantly, to ask your doctor.
Absolutely. You know, and I think, and it's not uncommon, especially for surgeries, to get a second opinion and try to find an expert. And we have some great orthopedic surgeons here because there's a lot of orthopedic injuries here, but other surgeries...
Go figure.
Right? But other surgeries are maybe less common just because of the population in this small community.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, definitely making sure that somebody is doing these and doing them regularly and feeling like, yes, I'm up to date on the latest cutting edge stuff, and this is something that I could do with my eyes closed.
Okay, text from Brad. We don't hear about HIV and AIDS much anymore.
Huh. Mm-hmm.
Has it been cured?
Wow. That's an excellent question. And it's true. I feel like we don't hear much about HIV anymore. Unfortunately, it has not been cured at all. It's still being actively transmitted, unfortunately, so we still need to protect ourselves when we have, you know, sexual partners.
Yeah, if you're active, whether gay, straight, or something in between, yes, please protect yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. But however, the medications have gotten a lot more refined. You know, when HIV first came on the scene in the, you know, kind of 80s, they were using AZT. Everybody heard about AZT,
Mm-hmm.
but they were using like 10 times the dose that they use now. So as many people were dying from the drug regimen as were from the actual virus. And
Well, because we didn't know.
We didn't know, and we were scared, and this virus was killing a lot of people and killing them quickly.
Yes.
And so we were doing the best that we could to figure out what meds would work and to slow it down. And AZT did help, you know, in some cases, but it also did some harm. But now the antiretroviral medication is so much more refined that it's becoming, HIV is more of a chronic disease issue rather than, say...
A death sentence.
A death sentence, exactly.
No, I mean, I think, you know, Magic Johnson, I mean, what was it, early 90s, somewhere in there, when he was when he was diagnosed with it.
Yep.
He's still with us?
Yep. And I used to, before I moved to Durango, I worked at a HIV wellness center doing naturopathic medicine, which was really cool.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. So that was in, oh my gosh, when did I start working there? 2004. And then I just had one of my patients from Phoenix, from the HIV wellness center, contact me, and we're back in touch, and he's been HIV positive 30 years. And
wow.
Yeah, he's almost, no, he just turned 60. So he's doing great. So it depends too, the virus, depending on the strain of the virus and how your body responds to it. Some people have always been able to live with it for a long, long time, and some people are taken down by it. But it's definitely still a concern, and certainly something that has not been cured.
Yeah, so like she said,
yeah,
be careful.
Please protect yourself. You know, and I feel like, especially with women, there's so many forms of birth control, and so it's making condom use less and less popular. And then if it's between men, and you don't need to worry about birth control issues, then again, condoms become less and less in vogue. But just because we're not talking about it as much doesn't mean that it's any less of an issue. And there's other STDs that are back on the rise, like chlamydia, especially in like Sun City and places in Arizona where there's older folks living together that have been widowed and now they're living in community. And nobody has to worry about birth control because they were all through menopause. It's really spreading rampantly. So we have to be aware of other STDs as well. You know, not just HIV.
Yeah, that's an image I really didn't need.
That's a conversation for another week.
Oh, no.
Oh, people need sex too.
Absolutely. No, it's just, yeah, that's just wasn't an image I wanted to.
I mean, it's got to be hard as an 80-year-old to get diagnosed with chlamydia for the first time. But, you know,
no pun intended.
I didn't get the pun.
It's got to be hard for an 80-year-old.
Well,
yeah, okay.
But I'm bummed.
Yeah. Hey, tip your waiters and waitresses. We're here for 97 Tuesday. Try the deal. No, I would imagine, and that you bring up a good point, and I would imagine seniors are a lot more active.
Yes, absolutely. You know, because health outcomes are better. There's meds like Cialis and Viagra to help with ED and stuff like that might have gotten in the way before. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's trendy to be healthier. So people. Well,
and 80 today is like 50.
Yeah.
A half century ago.
Potentially, yeah. Mm-hmm. It can be if you take care of yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. I mean, you see 40. I mean, I'm a middle-aged guy. I remember seeing pictures of my dad, and he looked a lot older than I look.
Yeah, absolutely.
And of course, raising a little ass like me probably
aged him a bit.
Probably did age him a bit, but yeah, no. I mean, it's weird. We're younger longer.
Yes, I think so. And part of that, it comes out of necessity. I mean, the years of retiring at 55 are over for most of us, you know. And so people are working longer and having to be in the workforce longer, you know. So we're an aging population, so it's shifting a lot. But either way, you know, put your Jimmy hat on.
I wake up in the mornings and I think, you little. No, that's good stuff. All right, Brad, thank you for your text. All right, so detox. We're just about out of time here for this morning, and I got another text here to share with you. So let's recap. Detox.
Okay, great. So we would love to have you join us. It's 10 days. It's guided. It's easy. I'll tell you exactly what to eat. There's 3 supplements to take. None of it, and that's to ensure that you feel really well. So a lot of people will choose not to do a detox because they don't want to stop, you know, drinking coffee or drinking alcohol or whatever. But taking a break from doing these things doesn't mean A, that we can't go back to them, and B, we probably don't need as much of them, and C, we can it gives us a chance to think about our relationship to these substances.
You bring up a good point. Coffee, for example.
Yeah.
You know, it used to be a cup would get you going in the morning. Now you got to drink 3 cups. Maybe give your body a break and get back to where you only have to drink a cup.
Exactly, right. Exactly. And so this is just about giving your body a break, just doing something a little bit different. And so there's modifications for people. You know, a lot of people are worried about, you know, a caffeine withdrawal. You know, let's do some green tea. Let's have you feel well during this process. But that's part of the reason why, as a doctor and as an expert in natural medicine, I've picked these supplements to help your body deal with what we're going to be doing. And
I love it when people come by the window, they don't think we're here.
Oh.
It's like, no, we're actually here. Hi.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, the sun's shining on Main Street.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But you can go to puravitahealthcare.com and sign up, or you can give our office a call, 970-426-1684. And there's a bunch of us signing up. It's going to be it's always better to do something like this in a group, I think.
Well, yeah, you have support that way.
Absolutely. And you have a start date and an end date, and you kind of, rather than like, oh, yeah, I'll start next week. Oh, yeah, I got that party thing coming up. Oh, I'll start the week after. You know, kind of thing. So we're all starting. However, we do have a handful of people that the dates don't work for, but they're signing up anyway, and they're just going to do it. They're going to start the whole thing a couple weeks later, because all the webinars that I'll be doing live will be recorded, and so you can really watch it anytime.
Just like this show.
Just like this show.
I mean, you can go to the X-Rock Facebook page, you go to the Pure Vita page. I mean,
we're there.
We're there. You can actually watch us as we do the show on camera. Hey.
Everything's available through Facebook.
All right, one more time, the phone number.
970-426-1684. But give us a call if you have questions. We'd love to have you join us.
As always, a slice of heaven with you.
Oh, wrapped in an angel of clouds.
Well, I got my green sludge detox today.
Look at how perky you are now. Get a little more color in your cheeks.
Oh, do I?
Your eyes are brighter.
You like the deep steel ocean blue eyes that I have.
I do.
Thank you, Dr. Nicola, and we'll catch you next week here on The Rock Doctor.
Bye-bye. Not next week. Is Steve happy with the show?
Yes.
Okay.